In Cubase and Nuendo, you can create your own reverb, and I'll show you why this can be very helpful and how to do it. So here is the great actor Tom Zahner.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers.
So we recorded his voice here, and now imagine he has done a TV series and recorded a lot of scenes on set and had to do some ADRs in the recording studio. So the recordings from the recording room are very, very dry. But when we have a look at the scenes from set, here we've got the lounge, here in the stairway has been recorded in the bathroom. This is Reverence, and this is a convolution reverb. This is how it sounds when I open Reverence the first time.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers.
Okay, so let's try a kitchen. Do we have a kitchen? Yeah.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers and their combination with previously.
But it's a smaller kitchen than mine, and we've got a different sound. Okay, let's have a look for another sound. What's about stairway?
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers and their combination with
Now comes the solution. We create our own reverbs by creating our own impulse responses. I recorded with two different devices just by clapping in my hands. The first device is my smartphone, and the second is my Zoom H6 laying here. And let's have a look at the claps with the smartphone. And now let's listen to the Zoom H6. Totally different sound. So the Zoom recorded in mono and the smartphone in stereo, but it's not really stereo because I guess we've got one microphone at the top and one at the bottom. We start here. Now we press Shift and X. And in this sound, we got a lot of noise. So we use spectral denoise by isotope. Just use the Learn button. And now we use the direct offline processing, and let's print in this one into this short file. We want to have a fade out. We want to have very, very short fade in, just avoiding some clicks. Now I go to the first one and say ER for impulse response, and we name it kitchen, mobile, and this one is the Zoom. Let's take them. I go to File, Export, Export selected events, and now it's done. So here is the folder. I go to Reverence, and now I choose Import. And I go to impulse responses, and at first I choose the mobile one.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers and their combination with previously hand-operated timekeeping instruments leads to the invention of mechanical clocks. Prominently mounted on town halls and church towers,
and you can change some things here. You can change the size, you can change the time scaling, and so on and so on. You can change the level, and you've got here the equalizer, and so on and so on. And this was the mobile. Now let's import the Zoom.
Prominently mounted on town halls and church towers, they characterize the townscape of Central European cities coming to.
That's a different sound, right? And what I really like here is a picture. Let's remove it because I took a photograph. Now let's do this, and now we can compare it.
Prominently mounted on town halls and church towers, they characterize the townscape of Central European cities, coming to life intellectually and economically at the beginning of the historical epoch we call the Renaissance or Rebirth.
Let's do another reverb, because I recorded another impulse just with my hands here in this stairway. Let's start here. We can stop here. Yeah, again, Shift and X. So now we cut this one. We've got to denoise. Now use the direct off-ramp processing. We use again the fade out and the fade in. I hope it's okay for now. Next we choose them, File, Export Selected Events, and here we are. You can see here are the impulse responses, and now import impulse response here, stairway mobile, and here stairway zoom.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers and their combination with previously hand-operated timekeeping instruments leads to the invention of mechanical clocks. Prominently mounted on town.
Awesome. Awesome. So this has been the mobile recording. Let's go to the Zoom recording.
At the end of the Middle Ages, the development of mechanized timers and their combination with previously hand-operated timekeeping instruments leads to the invention of mechanical clocks. Prominently mounted on town halls and church towers, they characterize the townscape of Central Europe.
Okay, so this can be very, very helpful when you got to match the recordings from set to the recordings from ADR or in the other direction. So perhaps you don't have plugins like Altiverb or Chameleon by Accentize. And perhaps the guy on the set just did this for you and clapped into the hands, but perhaps he didn't. And very often you've got the clap at the beginning, and this can help you too. And you can have a lot of fun when you do this in a trash. So just try to record not normal rooms, just other stuff. Or you use a piano and then just press the pedal that opens or the keys. So you hear something like this, and use this like an impulse response, so you can have a lot of fun. So when you like this video, please give me a thumb up, would make me very happy. And when you get some more questions or suggestions, just leave a comment. See you, bye.